Hello, my rainbows of all kinds, and welcome to the third episode of a little segment we're doing on the channel called Mini My Reviews. This is the show where I'll be reviewing stuff that Jay isn't interested in covering on our podcast, but I am. For our third episode, I will be covering the Deadpool movies. Before we cover these movies, I would like to give a content warning for the following: graphic violence, flashing lights, naughty language, sexual themes, etc. Viewer discretion is advised. Also, please be 18 plus when viewing this series. Now, this is the first time I'm going to be talking about movies for the Mini My Reviews, so the format for this episode may be a bit different. Instead of going over the movies as a whole, like we normally do for our podcast, I'll be going over each one at a time first, and then rate them separately, and then as a whole at the end of the video. The first Deadpool came out in 2016. Now, normally superhero movies don't interest me. I never knew why until I saw this movie. It's hard to get me into superhero movies, and it's because of the format. Most superhero movies just start with the origins and don't get to the action until the last 2 hours of the movie, give or take. However, this movie has the perfect blend of action and origin story that I wish more movies did. It gives us a chance to see Wade's character shine through, while also learning about his struggles to become the anti-hero we know him as today. One of my favorite things about this movie is how much passion and excitement Ryan Reynolds brings to Deadpool as a character. You can tell he has had so much fun with this, and I love Deadpool's energy. That's one of the things that got me to enjoy Wolverine all those years ago when I first saw the OG X-Men movies and X-Men Origins. Another thing I enjoy about this movie is the fact that Deadpool is the best of both worlds in more ways than one. He's the comic relief and can be serious when needed. He's the total package of a character and knows how to be a caring person despite all that he's been through. That is what makes me enjoy him as a character and in the movie. Deadpool 2 is the second movie, and it came out in 2018. Compared to the first movie with the semi-lighthearted vibe, the opening to this movie feels like you got hit by a truck. The emotions that you feel with Wade as you witness the love of his life lose her life makes you feel gut-wrenching anguish. Out of the openings of all three movies, this one and Deadpool and Wolverine are both my favorites. The cinematography of the opening sequence is so good. Even when he's going through the worst pain in his life, Wade still finds a way to make light of the situation in some way. Another thing I will say about this movie is that it takes way less time to catch up to everything compared to the first movie. The first movie took almost half the time to get to where they started the movie. Well, this one took about 25 minutes, so not bad. I will say that I did enjoy this movie, but I do feel like they end up padding out a few areas to make the time almost 2 hours. Like Wade is in the X-Men house and a little bit in the mutant prison scenes near like the later half of the movie. I will also say that I do like the route that they took for having Deadpool work with the X-Men a bit. It gives us a bit of a chance to see him interact with them, and it gives us a bit of a different route than what Wade is used to, and gives him more room as a character to grow. We also get to see him forming a team throughout the course of the movie, which is also awesome as well. Now, the most recent addition to this franchise came out this year in 2024 with Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, for those who don't know, Wolverine is one of my favorite superheroes ever. I've been into him since the OG X-Men movies. Hugh Jackman is also my favorite version of Wolverine as well. Because there's been comic versions, there's been TV shows, but honestly, Hugh Jackman's version of Wolverine is pretty much my favorite. So when I found out that him and Deadpool, another favorite character of mine that I've grown to love as a character, are going to be in a movie together, I was so happy. Honestly, I was so hyped for this movie, no matter how it was going to be. I was just more than happy to see my two favorite characters in a movie together. In my opinion, this movie was so good. I didn't know what to expect going into this besides the hype of both my favorite characters in it. I also knew all the songs in this movie, which was a first for me. I have never seen a movie and knew all of the songs in it. So that was a nice surprise. The plot was a lot more in-depth than I thought it would be, with lots of action and fight scenes between the two superheroes. I also noticed the multiverse aspect to it, and enjoyed it pretty much. I know there are more versions of Deadpool. I didn't know much about the other versions of Wolverine, though, so it was nice to learn a little bit about them from what we did get to see. It was so cool seeing all of the different versions of Deadpool and all the different versions of Wolverine, even though you get to see more of the Deadpool versions than the Wolverine versions, but you still get to see a good mix of both of them. Before this movie, I only knew of Ladypool and Dogpool, but getting to see more of the versions of the Deadpool characters was pretty awesome, along with the Wolverine characters. The multiverse trope, sorry about that, is something that I'm enjoying with all the new movies coming out in recent years, from Spider-Verse to now. It has become a really popular trope to use in movies, and it gives you a chance to learn about more versions of the same character, but different at the same time. I hope we get to see more multiverse stuff in the future for other stuff as well. Because personally for me, I feel like it's a really good aspect of a movie trope if you do it the right way. And a lot of the ones I have seen, mainly Spider-Verse and this movie, have done a really good job with the multiverse aspect. And I would like to see more movies with some of the other characters that were introduced, of the different versions of them as well, in future movies, hopefully. It's definitely an improvement from the first time they introduced these two to each other. And I will say that. And I do hope we get another movie with both Deadpool and Wolverine in it. Compared to the first time these two were in a movie together, which was X-Men Origins Wolverine, they did my boy Deadpool dirty. So compared to that, it's definitely an improvement from the first time they introduced us to these two. I'm looking at you, X-Men Origins Wolverine. You definitely did Deadpool dirty in that movie. Personally, these movies just keep getting better and better with each new installment. And I hope eventually we do get another Deadpool movie. And I hope we also get to do another movie with Deadpool and Wolverine in it together. Because especially with how this movie ended, I do feel like there is room for them to do more with it, which I hope they do. Overall, I really enjoy these movies. They are a comfort movie to me. It's also really nice to have another superhero character to enjoy besides Wolverine. They have their charm to it, and even though they are a bit dirty, they make the dirty jokes work. It's not just fully focused on that, so it does give you a chance to love both characters and just Deadpool in general in a better light. And I do hope we get more Deadpool movies in the future, like I said. And I do hope that we also get to see Deadpool and Wolverine team up again in the future. So like I said in the beginning, for this mini Mario review, I'll be rating each movie separately and then as a whole, like me and Jay do with our podcast. It's a little bit different, but still kind of the same. So for the first movie, Deadpool 2016, I'm going to give it 4 Marios out of 5. For Deadpool 2, which came out in 2018, I'm going to give it 3.5 Marios out of 5. And for Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm going to give it 4.5 Marios out of 5. As a whole, I give all 3 movies together 4.5 and 4 Marios out of 5. Anyway, that's my mini Mario review for the Deadpool series. Hope you all enjoy, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, my rainbows.